Good afternoon, Xbox Nation. I want to first apologize, not realizing that the time change here in the East Coast was going to affect my good friend and partner, the Welsh gamer, all the way in London. We had to start an hour late. So until we get another time change or they get a time change in London, the new time for the show is going to be 1 o'clock. And I hope that's okay for everybody because we enjoy doing this show. But first of all, I have to say a big, warm thank you to this community. The Xbox community has risen and held this new show up. The last show received almost 1,500 views. The show before that was almost 2,200 views. And I honestly could not be happier. But you know what? You know who's also very happy about that? My co-host and the man from all the way across the pond, the Welsh gamer. Welcome back, my friend. We missed you last week, but Saltiest Gaming, like a superhero, stepped in to make sure that the show could continue.
No, what a trooper that Salty is. I was on holiday with the family last week, couldn't make it, but I did miss you, Boom, as always. I got a gripe to pick with you already, though, Boom. You said that I was from London. That's really upset me now.
That is an upsetting thing. I apologize sincerely.
No, it's amazing. No, I got Pink Floyd in the chat saying I missed you, Welsh. Missed you too, Pinky boy. I missed everyone in the chat. It's good to be back. And also, well, my intro, Welsh gamer, here I am. I'm back to bring it, and I can't wait to get into these topics. But I also want to take this opportunity to do a shout out to my good friend, Microbox of X with the Micropod. He's got a great panel over there. Recently, has solidified a permanent new panel member. That is E-Rock-X, another huge fan of him. Absolutely love E-Rock-X. Me, him, and Micro did the Dragon X podcast, and now they're hitting it hard over there doing the Micropod. I just want to do a big shout out to say, get your asses over to Microbox's channel, hit the sub button, and stay tuned for the Micropod. It's a fantastic show. But Boom, we're not here to talk about anything other than the Xbox factor right now. What have we got to talk about, my dude?
Well, listen, first of all, again, I have to do a public shout out. I'm going to follow your lead here. J Dubs, who is always in the chat, who is one of the community's finest. He's one of the community's brightest. He surprised both the Welsh and I this week with the new logo for the Xbox Factor podcast, which obviously, when you saw I tweeted it out, it looks amazing. In fact, it looks so professional that it appears to be the cover of a magazine. And I cannot thank him enough. And listen, if you look at the work that's been done on this channel over the course of the last 15 months, nothing would have been done correctly if it wasn't for J Dubs, also known as the Graphic God on Twitter. He does have his own business, xboxgamerpicks.com. Listen, there are so many people in the chat right now that have used his services. Not only is he a gentleman, not only is he a scholar, but his talent is second to nobody, both on Twitter and YouTube. I highly recommend his work. Like I say, on every time I do a commercial for him, his prices are extremely affordable. And I think one of the best things about his particular business is that it's a personal business. Whereas instead of just, DMing him or writing him through email to try and explain what you want your gamer pick for your Xbox, PS4, or YouTube channel to look like, he will set up a private Google Hangouts, and you guys will talk like you're on the phone, and usually that comes off as a better situation for the end product. So if you're not familiar with it, it's xboxgamerpicks.com. Please head over there right now and let Jay know I sent you. His work is impeccable, and it's well worth your time, and especially your hard-earned money. But let's get into the show.
Boom. Can
yes,
I just
sir.
bounce off what you're saying and say,
please,
guys,
by all means, go right ahead.
Me and Boom, once a week, don't shut up for about 2 hours. And every time we open our mouths, come flashing in your face is these beautiful, beautiful pictures. And they are literally the fantastic work of Graphic God. Like we are literally talking billboards for this man. He is a fantastic human being, a fantastic artist, and as you'll see by the thumbnail, when this goes up and uploads and does all its shit on the YouTube end, and the new thumb goes up, you'll see once again, what this man is made of. It is clean, it is sexy, it's professional, and he's so efficient. I can't stress that enough. I just had to bounce off the back of you, Boom, because I'm looking at your avatar when you're talking, and then when mine pops up, and it's just a constant reminder of how good and how professional this guy really is.
Yeah, you know what? Again, he's second to none. As a matter of fact, a quick story. Really, I come from a background that had nothing to do with producing my own content for video editing. And J Dubs took me under his wing, and any question I had, he answered. He was a real gentleman about it, and we're always going to be brothers. It's, again, xboxgamerpicks.com. If you want the best, go there, tell him Boom and Welsh sent you. But we have to open up the show with, of course, Inside Xbox. It is the talk of the town for so many reasons. And look, this is a positive show. We are one of the few Xbox shows that we preach positivity within this community. Everyone is welcome. Sony guys, Nintendo guys, and especially the Xbox community. The only thing I ask is that when you come into our home, please leave all your shit at the door, because this is a house of peace, love, and understanding. And we also are going to talk again. I a couple of days last week, I had to be officer not friendly, and I don't like doing that. I don't like calling people out. I want everyone to be in the chat. I want everyone to be happy. Unicorns and rainbows all day long is something I preach. I know people make fun of me because of it, but guess what? I'd rather preach that than hate. So without a further ado, Welsh, the Inside Xbox happened the other day. Now, there again, lots of good points. Unfortunately, with Microsoft, this show had a lot of questionable points. Now, I have to open up my comments with this. The way the show opened up with all of the women in the Microsoft family that are involved in gaming was phenomenal. As classy and respectful as you can get. This is obviously a month dedicated to women. They make up almost half of the demographic when it comes to gaming. It was really a sight to see. I got goosebumps seeing all those women standing up there, because you know what? Women play games. They also help produce the content, and they work behind the scenes tirelessly. And to see Xbox representing them was fantastic. Welsh, what was your take on that?
I thought it was fantastic, man. I mean, like, I don't like things that are full. I don't like anything pushed down your throat, like, political correctness. But they done it in. I'll give Inside Xbox all credit due. They did it in a very respectful way, and it did bring a lot of good focus towards the fact that, and it was a small reminder to anyone watching that, like you said, Boom, like, bottom line, like, it goes unnoticed sometimes, not by myself or you, but it probably does go unnoticed that there are a lot of women out there that share this passion like we do. And more and more nowadays as well. I remember when I was in school, God, even the thought of a woman playing a game or a girl playing a game, it was like, no, impossible. No, that never happened. But now, 2019, 2020, it is, in fact, a huge thing. And like one of my close friends, friend of the show, Primal Eve, is a great example. What a fantastic girl she is.
She is, yes.
She's just one of many examples. I think it's great. I think it was a nice touch for the, obviously, what was it, International Women's Day and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think they did a good job without shoving it down your throat and being like #women for life and all that shit. They just did it in a nice manner. And I thought in overall, I think it was actually much better. It was probably one of the better panels they've had on Inside Xbox. So I invite those women back, if you ask me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. First of all, they were spot on professional. I really enjoyed what they had to say. And like I said, it was interesting. Here's a quick question. Now, the show was shorter, significantly shorter than most shows, probably because there really wasn't a lot to talk about. I know on Twitter there are several people that are calling it Inside PC. And, we're going to get into the whole Halo Master Chief coming to the PC. That's going to be a segment. But no Larry Hryb, was there. I mean, now, this was an opportunity for the community at large, especially YouTubers like ourselves who produce content, to see what the show would look like and run like without Larry Hryb. What were your takeaways? Larry wasn't there. Do you think that it's something that needs to happen more often to maybe kind of push the younger talent at Inside Xbox?
Larry Hryb not being there. What do I think? Mate, I'm sorry, right? Larry Hryb, right? I'm not hating. I think he is a fantastic voice for Xbox. And what he does with This Week on Xbox and his presence on Twitter. And I've even tuned into the odd, Major Nelson radio, segment that he does on YouTube. Fantastic work. He's a good proponent for the Xbox brand. I'm not saying I want him to leave anytime soon, but I'm sorry. Like, if this show didn't prove anything for anyone, it certainly proved this for me, that he is not needed for that show. And I'm not saying he's terrible or this or that, but I kind of just preferred him not being there, like being like kind of the awkward old man in the corner, like, with his you trying to use a calculator when his grandson's using a fucking smartphone. Like, I'm not knocking him. I'm just obviously, all jokes aside, but I do think he needs to step away and let some young blood with young, as you put it, young blood, young talent, young, just keep it fresh. And I don't mean young as in age, because age is just a number.
Correct.
I just mean young-minded,
maybe a fresher perspective.
Yeah, that's better terminology. That is far better terminology. Just a fresher perspective. Fuck age, fuck numbers, just fresher perspective. That is perfect, Boom. And I just think when Larry Hryb is there, he just kind of ages it a little bit. And I don't know, he bores me. I'm not gonna lie, he does bore me.
Yeah, he like I said, I think Larry's a good dude. I think he's a dedicated Xbox executive. He's always on Twitter. I do enjoy Inside. When he does the show on Xbox. It's the 10 or 15-minute snippet that you get. I think he would serve the Inside Xbox as being there every now and again, but being behind the camera. I think he can offer. Because he's a veteran of the industry, and we certainly don't want to see him go away. But at the same time, there is a bit of cheesiness when he goes with the white gloves. I know it's a running joke and everything. And speaking of cheesy, like I said, we like to push positivity with the Xbox because it's so easy to say, yeah, Xbox sucks and this, that, and the third. Well, you're not going to get that here. But when things happen, if we're going to be real, professionals, we have to talk about it. But you know what? Before I get into that, let me just say this. First of all, Harry Heck with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. You're always in there. You donate a lot. I want to say I really greatly appreciate that. That is extremely kind of you. He says nobody hasn't really said Xbox hardware is going to go away. But the irrelevancy and the value of owning the Xbox hardware may kill it in the end. You know what? I have a segment that we're going to do that Welsh looked over. It's packed with information, and it really just brings complete knowledge and proof, evidence, if you will, as to why the Xbox hardware isn't going to go anywhere. And it's basically been confirmed numerous times, but I'll read those quotes in a second. And secondly, Gotham Guy, who is a big fan of the channel, and I'm a big fan of his, with the outstanding $10 super chat. Thank you so much. He said, I love the woman panel on Inside Xbox. Way more passion, flow, and insight. Very true. I follow Tina Summerford since the days of G4 TV. Wow, that's a good one. That's a nice flashback, and it was great to see her. Yes, I absolutely agree. G4 TV was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. I actually do miss that, and she was a big part of that. So yes, thank you for your kind words, and of course the $10 super chat. But you know what? One of the things I have to say about Inside Xbox is that there's always that one cringeworthy moment that, you're like, ugh, it's like a car wreck in front of you and you don't want to look, but you just have to, right? and it was the fake Master Chief guy carrying the pizzas. Here's the thing, guys. Look, if you didn't know, the reason why the pizzas were there, the reason why there's this running joke is the PC community reached out to 343 Studios and said, listen, if the Master Chief collection ever comes to PC, we're buying pizza for everyone. And even though the community didn't pay for the pizza, which that was made, obviously, they made everyone aware of that, which was kind of cool. But at the same time, if you're going to have a Master Chief there on an Inside Xbox show, my God, could you get him an official costume? Could you actually splurge for some, good llooking armor? I mean, listen, I've done cosplay. I've taken pictures with numerous Master Chiefs, and they're amazing. Even the ones that are just doing it for the first time look so much better than the jumpsuit that the guy was wearing. Now, the Master Chief helmet looked good. I'm not going to lie. That looked official. But the rest, my God, man, spend a couple of bucks. Now, I know you didn't see it. Well, because you missed it when you were watching Salty's, stream of it. But I explained to you what happened. Do you think that these kind of events need to be removed? I mean, I understand it's tongue in cheek. I know it's not supposed to be the diehard serious fan. You can't laugh or I'm going to stab you. I understand that, but at the same time, shouldn't there be a more I don't even know how to put it, a more serious tone to the Xbox show? I mean, we know Xbox is fun. We know that they have funny guys. It's okay to laugh, but cheesy, things like that, I think need to be removed. What are your take on that, dude?
My take on this is, we were just talking about Larry Hryb and is it a good thing that he was gone and did it have an effect on the show? I think, but from what you're telling me, Boom, I'm confident in saying this. I bet you it was Larry Hryb that was wearing that Master Chief.
No, it was the guy was in good shape. The guy was in real good shape. He was a tall glass of water too. So he
probably had pads on or something. That was definitely Larry Hryb. I'm telling you now. No, man, on a serious note though, all jokes aside, I tend to just for perspective, because Inside Xbox is a show that I try to tune into. Like I've said to Boom before, I'm not a diehard follower of it, but I watched the most recent one. It was a good show. It was short, sweet, to the point. The women on the panel were good. Larry Hrb's absence was certainly noticed. I missed the cheesy Master Chief thing, but based on Boom's very descriptive description, I should say, of the whole setting, I can just only imagine the level of cringe. My fingers would have been twisted up inside of me. I'd have been like, ah! But yeah, I agree that they should drop shit like that, because for the entirety of what I actually saw of the show, it was very professional, very clean, very to the point. It was informative, no unnecessary cheesiness, because like I said, just to be clear, I missed that section with the pizza and the Master Chief. But just to put things into perspective, just to compare, I tend to watch NFL Network a lot, which is obviously NFL, Total Access.
Yes, me too. Every morning I put it on.
Oh, mate, it's fantastic. And it's just all the best, latest news and gossip about football. And then on the weekends, with the Six Nations, where I live in Wales and the United Kingdom, we've got the rugby, the Six Nations. This Saturday is the final, the Grand Slam final. And it's just a few weeks of rugby, and all the way through, you've got what's called Scrum 5, which is a show that comes on the sports channel. And it's just, again, and I'll say it again, just like I said about NFL and just like I said about the latter part of Inside Xbox, it's informative. It brings the good information. It's very clean cut, to dry, to the point, and just enjoyable to watch on a very professional level. But if they started dancing and wearing ballet suits and doing handstands and jumping through hoops and juggling fucking fireballs and stuff, I'd be like, what the hell are you doing on my TV? For me, on a personal level, I don't mind fun when it's clever, but when it's ridiculously forced cheesiness, it takes me out of the experience. And when I watch any of these informative stuff, Scrum 5, NFL Network, or in this case, Xbox, Inside Xbox, if I'm going to invest an hour or two of my time, I want it to be just a professional, clean cut. You know, this ain't CBeebies. I'm not watching Milkshake. Like, I'm not watching my son's shows where you've got like idiots in costumes running around. I want to watch Xbox stuff. You know, I want to get my information. I want it to be as professional as possible. Call me like over the top, but I just, for me, it's just not necessary. It's not needed. It's not clever. I like clever comedy. You know, I love watching Lee Evans and Jimmy Carr and Joe Rogan and all these comedians, but you know, because they're funny and they do it with style. They do it with, you know, with class. They're clever with it. But when you've got some moron in a bloody Master Chief suit pieing people with pizzas, because I just things like that just irk me. I just think it's not necessary. And the same with Larry Hryb when he does his little quirks. I'm just like, mate, get the fuck out of here. Just keep it clean, keep it professional. That's what I think.
Well, I mean, look, again, there's nothing wrong with, like, if you made mention of the Inside NFL, right? Like they joke, they laugh, but at the same time, there's a serious tone to the show. Same thing with this particular show. We joke, we laugh, you know, we make fun, we make mistakes, we laugh about it. You hear me laughing all the time. But there's a serious tone to the show because, you know, we want to, you know, first of all, 104 people in the chat already is just bananas. So we want to make sure that the 104 people that are here are going to get their quality 90 minutes worth of Xbox, you know, news, reviews, previews, and everything. There's been some controversy, and again, it's a topic that we're going to get into regarding the digital future. But they demoed Project xCloud live on the air, which actually surprised me. And the controversy isn't the device, isn't the controller, isn't what we were seeing on the screen. It was how the controller was being used. Now, if you're a Forza fan, you do understand that there are so many options that the game could practically drive itself with very limited controller use. And what I'm talking about, Welsh, and we discussed this privately, is the controversy is, was it real? Was she actually playing the game? Now, she was, slapping on the right trigger to use the gas, and she was tapping on the left, the left stick to actually drive. Now, you've seen it. Do you think it was faked, or do you think they just had it in a mode with maximum everything, where she basically didn't even have to drive, just hold the controller? Or do you think that this was actually just a bad faked job of showing the supposed xCloud technology at play?
I gotta be completely honest. I I feel bad doing it but I'm just a realist and I like to keep it 100. To me, I'm not saying it's fact, but to me, it didn't look real. And I only say that because I wanted it to be real. When they brought it out, I got so excited. I thought, oh my God, like, wow, I had no idea we were going to actually see in play. Like, I didn't think we were going to have our eyes on it this soon. I thought maybe E3 at the earliest. So the fact that, he came out, gave her the controller, and it had the phone on it. Believe me, Boom, my excitement levels were hitting the roof. I was like, wow, we're going to actually get a glimpse. And for the fact of the matter that, she had the controller, the screen, and we got to get an idea of what to expect. For that, 10 out of 10. But if you're asking me if I think her live demo was real, to me, it just didn't look real. And I only say that because there was just a couple of things that screamed not real to me. Like, there was a moment where it was close up to her hands and she was flicking the stick left and the car was turning right. And there was another moment where she was actually directly looking the dude in the eye and talking to him, yet she was still like just fiddling with the sticks. And I was just like, I'm sorry, either like Wreckage Camp, I think his name is up top, Rectangle, sorry.
Yeah, Rectangle, yes.
He said it seems to me that auto assist was on full.
Yes, yeah. You know what? And
that might be the case.
Yeah, I mean, look, see, now I'm going to go in the other direction. All right. First of all, two big shout outs. One, Z Black Writer says that she said it was real, and I don't really think she's going to put herself out there to lie. Okay. Also, Starbug UK, and I got to actually see this because I was watching a video from Brad Sams today about Xbox, streaming to a PC streaming to Xbox. We'll get into that into a second. He says that Brad Sams did a video on it, and it was real. I see. Here's the thing. Again, when you're hosting a live program, because that's what it is at this point, I don't think that she's going to be able to play the game as if you and me were sitting home on our couch playing the game. I do believe that it was real. Like I said, I at first, because I watched it 3 times to make sure that my eyes were not deceiving me, and it was brought to my attention that the full drive assist could be on, and like I said, it would basically be as if the game was playing itself with very limited, moving of the joysticks and the gas. So so then I started to do my detective work. I said, well, something. Wait a second. We know that the mode is there, right? Drive assist is there in full. You can check all the boxes and have the thing basically drive itself. And she's doing a live show. I don't know. I mean, to me, I'm going to be honest with you. It looked like, to me, this is my opinion, that she was a little surprised, even taken aback that they were like, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Because it didn't look like she was expecting it. When the guy was demoing it, he said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we have it here. Here you go." She looked a little surprised.
I'll give you that. I will give you that. In
so
fairness,
I mean, at the same time, I mean, we have to look. I'm more in the camp of giving the benefit of the doubt before accusing. So I'm going to take the high road here and say I think it was real, but at the end of the day, whether it was real, whether it was fake, it wasn't the best showing on a technology that's going to change gaming. Okay. Before we go any further, I have to say something. First of all, Creeper. Oh my God, man. The $25 super chat. That is outstanding. Thank you so much. He says, just supporting a great podcast. Keep up the amazing content. Yes. First of all, thank you again for that. And we will always put out a good product because we respect everyone in this chat's time, and anyone that's going to watch on a replay. Your time matters to us. And if you're taking the time to listen to the show, rest assured the Welsh Gamer and I will be putting on the best show possible. But again, it wasn't the best showing of it. I'm expecting more things at E3. What about you, Welsh? Do you think that it could have shown off better? Or or we just take it for what it is, and the big E3 reveal should be something special?
To be honest, I think for the look of it, I thought it looked great. I do. I think it wasn't the best image, with zooming in on on an angle of a little mobile phone mounted on a little handset, but it looked like it. Let's just assume for a moment it wasn't fake. It was real, because I'm totally up for believing that. Frankly, I would prefer if that was the case. So I'm being that you're a Forza fan, Boom, and you've played far more Forza and you know how it feels and stuff. I'm going to go with what you're saying and agree with you that it is more than likely real. So assuming that fact, from what I saw, I don't think it looked bad. It looked, granted it's in its infancy.
It looked fantastic to me.
But I think it looked great. I think the promise of being oh man, I keep stuttering because I know what I want to say, but I'm just trying to spit it out. But it's just the fact that she had the controller with a phone mounted on top. It's just the promise of what's to come, and the fact that they're heavy at work with it, and the fact that I think it was ballsy that they shown it this early. Because I gotta be honest, Boom, I had no idea we were gonna. You're talking about the bird being shocked. I was shocked. I was not expecting him to bring it out, honestly. So I think it was a nice surprise, and yes, it might be in its infancy, but what they're working on, they're going to smash it up the park when it's in full effect. It's going to be fantastic. So assuming that what we saw was 100% genuine, it shows a very promising future for the xCloud and mobile gaming for Xbox.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, Chaos Theory, good friend of the show, with the $4 super chat. Thank you so much. That is extremely generous of you. He says, just showing my support, guys. Keep it up. Thank you for your support. It's greatly appreciated. Let's talk about the new Phantom White controller, because with every inside Xbox, it almost guarantees that we're going to get some sort of controller reveal. I'm not even going to lie here. Okay. That controller looked dope. Okay. I used to buy them like they were going out of style. I don't buy as many because I have a couple of elites, and that really does the job. It's really all I need. But I'm not going to lie. I did tweet at Aaron Greenberg and say, hey, is there a chance that we could win one of these? Hoping that he would DM me and say, Boom, you're the man. Here's one for free. Sadly, it did not happen. But you know what? That's okay, Aaron Greenberg. I still love you, dude. And never going to forget the help that you gave me with my elite problem that I had a couple years ago. But what were your takes on the new controller? I mean, again, not surprising there's one there. It did look kind of good, though.
I mean, it's a hard one because, like, as Titan Drago described it live on Saltiest's live reaction, it looks like grey water. But like, I mean, that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's how he described it. But when you look at it, it does look like a controller that's half bobbing in some grey water. But it's an interesting style. I just got to ask this question because I like throwing questions back at you, Boom. Like, I'll answer yours quickly in saying that it's a nice looking controller. It's not like over the top here, over the top there. It's a nice clean controller, and I imagine it'll sell at least to a certain amount of people. Well, I have this question to ask you, and it's something I want to hear you answer because it does confuse me. But why do they keep making controllers like this, which in terms of like to look at, it probably wouldn't be too hard to make that controller on Xbox Design Labs.
Correct. Yeah,
so I'm just wondering why they keep selling controllers like that you could, if you wanted a controller like that, you could make it yourself. Do you know what I mean, Boom? Like if they were to like advertise a limited edition Anthem controller or limited division,
Great point.
I'd completely understand because that coincides with their marketing. It's unique, it's limited, it's all that. But this controller here, whether you agree it's nice or not, which we've both agreed it does look nice, I do really like the color. Is it
necessary is the question. Is that correct?
Is it necessary? Like, money they're spending on producing that controller and marketing it and putting it out there could be put into other things that may be a bit more important, and then people who want this controller could just go over to the Design Labs that's already readily available. Do you know what I mean? Am I making sense?
I know exactly. I'm laughing at the chat. Is it Jago Coogan, very good friend of mine? I would consider this man a brother. He says every time a controller sale, every time there's a controller sale, an angel gets its wings. That's a lot of angels because there's a lot. Look. Here's the thing, folks. The answer to your question is absolutely not. It is 1000% unnecessary. I'm gonna throw this out there to the chat. I want to, one, if you agree with me, two, if you don't, and three, if you just want to give me the finger, that's perfectly fine. This is my question to the chat. This is my question to you, Welsh. Would it behoove both Microsoft and or the company or developer they have marketing deals with, Anthem, Metro, the Division 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Devil May Cry. Wouldn't it have been effing amazing if each one of those marketed games for Xbox had an available special edition controller that you can buy? I would be effing poor because I would go out and buy every one of these things. You see, I don't mind having multiple controllers but only having a pair of hands. But at the same time, I enjoy, like, I have the Titanfall controller. I have the Sea of Thieves controller. Those are gorgeous to look at. Could you imagine what a Devil May Cry would look like? Could you imagine what a Metro or a Division would look like? This is, see, again, anyone from Microsoft, if you're an intern and you have Phil's ear, tell him about BoomStick. I'm looking for a job. I want to work for Microsoft, either in the community manager position or to help sell more Xboxes, or get me on the design team with the Xbox Pope. Hire both of us, but pay him more because he obviously is the real artist here. I just have ideas, and he will probably be able to produce them. But with that said, I think that it's a missed opportunity to sell more controllers, which is what they want to do because apparently they sell, but also market the shit out of those games. Am I crazy, Welsh?
No, well, mate, you literally just bounced off of what I was saying. That's my point entirely, Boom. I could not agree more. Like, as much as that Phantom controller looks gorgeous, and the black version of that, and the blue version of that, and the yellow version of that is bound to sell to someone, I don't see why they'd waste their energy marketing that when, like you've said, you've got these incredible games that have already arrived and are and or coming that haven't had the same treatment. Like give us a DMC controller, give us an Anthem controller, give us a Division 2 controller. Like like I just think I'm with you. I'm with you, Boom. Totally with you. It seems a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand they're making money hand over fist with these controls, with these controllers. Because listen, if they weren't selling, they wouldn't be marketing them like they do, right? It wouldn't be on every Inside Xbox. Hey, you go in your face. Boom, we got this controller. You can eat chicken and don't worry about slipping, right? We know about you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we know that the controllers are selling. I have only two. I have five now. I have total of five. Two are Elite, two, one Scorpio, and the two that I talked about. But I used to have a heck of a lot more. I would buy every Halo. I'd buy every gear. You name it. I would be crazy. I at one point I had, I think, 16 controllers. It got ridiculous.
Did you ever use them, or were they just for display?
I actually rotated them out because I'm heavy-handed, and I kind of really put these controllers through their paces. I play a lot of games, obviously, with almost a 260,000 gamer score. So I do spend some time gaming. But at the same time, I used to rotate them out. You know what I'm saying? Or, I know it's kind of nerdy. When I was playing a particular game, I would use a Gears controller to play Gears. It's nerdy, sure, but I liked it. And that's what I would do. When I played Titanfall, I used a Titanfall controller. Silly, yes, but fun, absolutely.
No, that's fantastic, man. I'd do the same thing if I could.
I mean, look, again, it's hashtag fun, folks, right? That's what we're here to play. We're here to, have fun, play games. Real quick, I have to say, Scrub Nurse, first of all, thank you for the outstanding $5 super chat. That is greatly generous of you. I really appreciate it. He says, I love the look of the new controller, but I'm holding out for the next Elite controller, which I think they're going to announce at E3. Let's hope so. Thanks for making this a spot for us to listen to and talk Xbox. Yes, well, thank you. Everyone, you, Scrub Nurse, and everybody in the chat, thank you for giving the Welsh and I a platform to come and talk positively about the Xbox brand. And I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm not going to name names because I don't do that. Everyone has their own opinions. Some of the Xbox shows that are out there have become so negative that I don't listen anymore. I'm not going to say who they are. You know who they are because you're in the chat all the time. And I refuse to listen to them because, quite frankly, this entire generation it's been, jump on the rabbit, pounce on the rabbit. It's an old Bugs Bunny, pounce on Xbox, pile on Xbox. And, right now the ship has turned. Listen, I'm going to say this right now. Okay. And this is not to insult anybody. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But this has been a tough 5 or 6 years for the Xbox fan base, no doubt about it. If you cannot see the bright future that this company has post E3 2018, I'm going to lend you my pair of glasses I'm wearing right now. And yes, they are rose-colored, so you can see what I'm seeing. Right now, the Xbox is positioning itself. Phil and company are looking to win next generation. And they're going to win next generation on power and on accessibility and inclusion and services and the most powerful effing hardware this side of Texas, along with crazy amount of first-party games that are coming. And the fact that I even have to say that out loud blows my mind because you guys watch what I watch. And if I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, being 48 years old, I think that if you're half my age and you're an Xbox fan, you should be bouncing all over the house because it's going to be a good time. It took a long time to get here. Be a little bit more patient. E3 is only a couple of months away. And I actually, if you didn't already know, I'm going to be at E3 2019. I'm hoping to get into the Xbox show. I'm hoping to meet Phil Spencer. And I'm going to be doing live from the floor coverage the entire week I'm there with the Iron Lords of the Iron Lords podcast. and it should be a lot of fun. But you know what? Speaking of fun, Welsh, you know, I pitched you the next topic, and I think it's gonna become a running theme with the show because you know, the Xbox backwards compatibility program has been a big talking point on this show since the beginning, and it's really because of the incredible value that it holds for longtime Xbox 360 owners, and of course, it also has been the brunt of outrageous jokes by the PlayStation extremists or the toxic community, where saying the Xbox has no games, and that's why we like it. I know, ridiculous. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this particular topic for today's show, Drew, is simply we're always discussing what new titles have been added. And I thought it would be awesome to give our top 2 titles that are out that people might have missed playing, and 2 titles that we want to see that are not backwards compatible eventually come to the program. You know, again, just because you have you had a 360, you might have missed out on some of the games that I played that you didn't know about, or what Welsh played you didn't know about, and we want to talk about that. First of all, Welsh, what are your 2 picks for games that someone might have missed that are currently backwards compatible?
The 2 I've picked. Sorry, Boom.
That's okay.
Oh, Boom, I'm so sorry. My missus just bombed into the room with a phone call. Sorry, everyone in the chat. I was so rude.
No. We didn't hear anything. Go ahead. So, guys.
Backwards compatible for the 360. My 2 picks. Now, I've got a list here because I went through that massive list and I handpicked all the ones that absolutely splashed out at me. But the 2, and this might come as a shock, because on this list I've got like Red Dead Redemption, Fable Anniversary, but 2 games that I think have to be up there as one of the 2 best games you can get right now on backwards compatible for the 360 is Army of 2 and GTA 4.
Nice. 2 good, real strong picks.
Army of 2 is one of my favorite games from last generation. There's actually 3 games. There's Army of 2, Army of 2, the 40th Day, and there's Army of 2, the Devil's Cartel. But I checked, only the original Army of 2, which is the best one of the series anyway, is available, and it is phenomenal. And still, Boom, I will say this, graphically to this day, it still holds. It is beautiful. And then GTA 4 is, in my opinion, one of the better GTAs. I prefer it. I much prefer that one to GTA 5. So that's another huge recommendation. But Christ, I got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I got at least 15 here on my list that I picked just so I had some to choose from. There's so many good games, Boom. It's crazy.
Yeah, you know what? The 2 games that I'm gonna pick, you might have heard me talk about them. First of all, Warning Shots in the chat picked a really good one. He says Prince of Persia reboot. Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was an excellent one. I'm looking to see if anyone added anything else. Let me see. Kane and Lynch by Aaron Summers. Yes, that's a good one as well. GTA 4 story was great. The 2 that I'm going to pick, and I highly recommend these games, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is one of my favorite games almost all time. It is the greatest action/RPG game that nobody played. It came out from 38 Studios, which unfortunately closed after this. Kurt Schilling, if you remember, was involved in this company. They were funded by Boston, Massachusetts. Todd McFarlane did the designs. A lot of people were involved. Unfortunately, the game came out. It got reviewed very well. If you're looking for an action RPG in the lines of like a Fable with more action, my God, please go out and pick up Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. I highly recommend this game. And the second one, this one came out, I think, during the summer of last year as backwards compatible. There's rumor that it's the part 2 is an exclusive for the Xbox, and that is Vanquish. Wow, what an amazing game. A lot of people passed on it. It's a platinum game. Those guys really know how to make those titles. All I can say is that if you haven't played either of these 2 games, They are so worth your time, and they're both super inexpensive. Pick them up immediately. What two games do you want to see come to backwards compatible that you talked about in the DM?
Before I answer that question, Boom, I got to say this. We've said this a million times, but backwards compatibility, for this reason now, is incredible. And the reason is because, like, I mean, I could list all the games I got, and one or two people in the chat. There might be the odd one they haven't heard of and be like, "Oh my god, that's available! God, I might give that a go." And why I say that is because you just brought up two games, Boom, that I genuinely have never heard of. Genuinely. And because of your excitement, it's got me intrigued. It's got me very intrigued. It's got me
dude,
thinking,
I am telling you right now, both of these games would be in your top 10 of the year if they came out in 2019. That's how good they are.
oh, mate, absolutely no doubt. And this is why the argument of backwards compatibility is this, that, and the other, the Xbox has no games, is so stupid. Because the fact that I can, at any moment, whether it's straight after this show or in a week's time, go onto the store and grab Vanquish or Kingdoms of Amalur, two games which I've never played. So, wow, and they're readily available backwards compat. The fact that I have that option is just astounding. Like, people over there, Ponyland, or even like your Nintendo fans, I don't care who you are. If you want to point the finger and go, haha, Xbox has backwards compatibility, which is basically like going, haha, you own a Ferrari. Like,
that's great. That's great.
Like, you own a Ferrari,
like
and I only own
shame
a
on you. You own a
40.
Ferrari, you turd.
You own a Ferrari, I own a Mini. Idiots. It's literally just like you're pointing fingers, and it's a great service. And the fact that those games I can just pick up tomorrow if I wanted because they're available, it's just amazing. But anyway, I just had to say, like, great picks, Boom, and you've got my attention. But two that I really want to actually happen for the 360 is well, it's actually one that I want to see happen immediately, and that is Brothers in Arms Hell's Highway.
Oh, that's a good one, dude. That's a really good one.
Honestly, man, like that takes up the two spots for 360 for me, because I really, really, really just want that one. I'd be happy with just that one. I know I've said it in previous shows, but Brothers in Arms is one of the best series ever, and I'd love to get all of them. But if I could just get Hell's Highway, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, well, that's a strong pick. Real quick, Cameron Saunders with the outstanding $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. He says Riddick, Dark Athena, and this was one of my picks, Max Payne 3 need to be back compat immediately. Riddick was so underrated. Plus, you got Butcher Bay with it. Highly recommend both. Yes. And my one of my picks is going to be Rockstar Games Max Payne 3. It is a game I only put about an hour into. I don't know why I didn't finish that game. It looked gorgeous. It would probably look even better now running on the X. That one is something I hope comes through. And here's another one. This one is a hidden gem. This is also one that most people aren't really talking about, and that is Ninja Blade. Ninja Blade is not backwards compatible. If you liked Ninja Gaiden on the OG Xbox, this was a fantastic, when I tell you, absolutely fantastic game. And you know who made it? A lot of people know this. From Software, the same folks that brought you the Dark Souls series. And though it didn't play like the Dark Souls series, it was at some points tough as nails, gorgeous to look at. I mean, just a huge fun romp. If you're a Ninja Gaiden fan, you'd love this game. So those are my Ninja Blade and Max Payne. I'm going to tweet at Xbox. Hopefully they respond to see if we can get those backwards compatible. Because, I mean, those, again, one of the things are amazing. Raymond Morel with the outstanding $5 super chat. He says, I loved Vanquish. I was hoping for a sequel reveal at E3. It's possible. Good choice, boom, kaboom at noon. Thanks so much, dude. Yes, again, we heard in the middle of last year, if you guys remember, Phil Spencer was meeting with Sega, and the discussion of a Vanquish 2 exclusive was apparently talked about. Now, whether or not that's in development, I'm not sure, but there was some serious talk, and a Vanquish 2 would be outstanding. And again, it's one of those games, if you haven't played it, someone in the chat actually said, and I'm sorry I missed your name. He says, Welsh, you need Vanquish in your life. And I think they're absolutely right. So, those are two games. Reckoning, Kingdoms of Amalur, Reckoning, and Vanquish. You could probably pick up for under $20, dude.
No, man, it's definitely that's what I mean. That's why I love getting on this show and talking about stuff like this, because we bounce off one another. You're very enthusiastic. You can, the passion just oozes from you. You're literally like a talking billboard. Like, honestly, it's fantastic. And then people in the chat are backing you up, saying, "Welsh, you're fraud. You're not a gamer. Why haven't you played Vanquish?" I'm like, "All right, go, Jesus, guys, leave me alone, man. Cut me some slack."
Oh my God, that's great.
I was busking for 2 pence a day, y'all. I was busking for 2 pence. No, man, it definitely is something I'm gonna. I love the backwards compatibility program, man. I was literally only just replaying through the Metro games. I know they've done the remaster, but old games is where it's at sometimes, man. Like,
yeah,
the older stuff is classic.
Yeah, no, Shinso Elite in the chat. Welcome, my friend. He says Kingdoms of Amalur is $10 on Xbox Live right now, Welsh. You might have to run and pick that up.
No, that's class. Are they digital download as well? Because on the list that you sent me, some of them were
digital download as well.
Only. Yeah,
well, listen, again, this is again, if you enjoy the backwards compatible talk, please let us know in the chat. It's something that both Welsh and I are extremely passionate about. And I think it's going to be a new segment to the show. It's only going to be about 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to give one pick per week of what game we want and what game you should be playing, which would be a total of 4 games, 2 from each of us. If the chat wants it, if the people want it, it's something we're considering doing, because we like talking about it. I don't care about whether the game is 7 years old or 7 days old. A game is a game, and I enjoy gaming on all consoles, especially on the Xbox One with its amazing backwards compatibility program that they have running. But you know what? Let's move on to the next one. And I think we're going to be here for a while, Welsh. This is a big one. And this is the question to the chat. This is the question to you, Welsh. And I'm going to break down, before we get everyone's answers, I'm going to break down the information I have. Is Microsoft's Xbox One S All Digital Edition and ProjectX-Cloud speeding up the decline of physical media and the need for Xbox hardware? The answer is absolutely not. Now, the Maverick, also now known as the Xbox One S Sad Edition, which is terrible, will be releasing this year. It's unknown how much it's going to be or when, but it's on its way nonetheless. On Tuesday's Inside Xbox, there was an awesome segment, which we talked about, ProjectX-Cloud, where Kareem, I think it's Cowdrey, head of Gaming Cloud Division, not only talked about it in great details, but he told everyone watching that public trials for ProjectX-Cloud will be coming in 2019. So I'm really excited for that. I want to give that a shot. It also shocked me when they brought out the controller, and we're not going to get too much into that because, some people say it's fake. You say it, it looked fake. I say it looks real. Everyone has their opinion. That's fine. But here's the thing, Drew. The community as a whole, the Xbox community more specifically, has been very outspoken about the digital era and their concerns on what's going to happen to traditional hardware gaming in the future. I wanted to bring up some facts to calm the nerves of the Xbox community, the old school guys like us, who like their physical media, the Lady Foxfires and the Nukums of the world, the G-Men 1172s out there who still like their discs, and completely understood. Here's the thing. Phil Spencer sat down for an interview, Drew, during XO18, and he had this to say, when asked if streaming would replace home consoles. And this is direct quotes from the article. He says, no, on a console is the best scenario for you to download that game and play. If you're on a PC that's capable, download and play that game. Not all devices are capable of playing the most demanding games that we see here today at the show. So streaming is an option in those scenarios. And there are some scenarios like instant start and trials where maybe streaming on a device might be interesting. But I think for years and years, the best way to play a game will be to download that game and play it on a console. The same thing on PC. I think streaming is something that is further out in terms of becoming mass marketed where everyone's doing it, and even way further out before it's the best way to play if it ever happens. And this is what he finishes it off with. It's about giving you a choice as a player, not about replacing what you do today. And that's coming from the head of Xbox. Now, I want to continue with what Kareem Cowdrey had to say during the segment on, of course, Inside Xbox. He says, this is not, and I repeat, not a replacement for home consoles. We are not, again, not getting out of the console business. Now, Drew, with the two pieces of information that I have put out there, this is factual stuff. One happened in 2018. One happened as recent as Tuesday. They keep stressing that hardware isn't going anywhere. What are your concerns, and are you satisfied with Microsoft constantly talking about, yes, it's just options for the fans, that they can take their games anywhere, but the home console isn't going anywhere? Do you believe what they're selling?
Absolutely. Only because, and I take pride in saying this, like, and I know I'm not alone. I know the likes of yourself. I know Salty has been saying it. I know Microbox of X and E-Rock. Like a lot of people that I speak to are we're in the same boat. But like I take real pride in saying that I have been a huge proponent of this, and I've been saying for years that Xbox isn't just. And now listen to what I'm saying, guys. Xbox isn't just a console anymore. Now that doesn't mean it's going anywhere. It just means that you're going to have your console, but you're going to have many more options to come as well. And I've heard the same phrase, Boom. I was in the live chat for Gaming News at Noon with Salty and Boom, and a few people in the chat were saying that this is going to make Xbox hardware irrelevant. And I gotta say, Boom, like, this is unscripted. I'm just talking now generally, but like, it won't make it any more or less relevant than it is right now today, because I said it in the chat and you actually quoted what I said, Boom, and I appreciate it, because the more people that hear it, the better. Hopefully it'll spread like wildfire and people might calm down a bit. But the Xbox console, as stated in those quotes you just mentioned, Boom, is not going anywhere. They are not getting out of the hardware business. They're not replacing anything. So the people like myself, people like me, who are in fact through and through to their core console gamers and prefer the console experience, the people who have suffered through the ascend to PC master race, please, fuck console, come to PC. The people who've suffered through that, the people who've suffered through my console sells more than your console, come to PlayStation. No, we're sticking to our Xbox consoles, thanks. People who've suffered through all of that, you're the same people as you're the same type of person as me. We are the console gamers, the people who prefer console, regardless of power, regardless of price. Like, you can get a bloody 100 teraflop $5,000 PC that like absolutely eats my Xbox alive, but I would prefer the couch controller feel of sitting with my console, and that's not going anywhere. So people need to get in their heads that nothing is being replaced. It's just people like me who love consoles and always have played consoles are going to be going out to play on consoles, still going to go out and buy consoles, and you know full well that Phil and team are going to continue to accommodate consoles for as long as possible. So in answer to your question, then, Boom, I'm not at all surprised. I'm not shocked. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of Xbox sucks again. I got quite a lot to say here, Boom, if that's okay.
No, please go ahead.
But I gotta say this, right, and I'll be quick about it. But everyone in the chat, anyone who is concerned, I don't know, like the number one word that people need to concern themselves with, and this is literally it, it's the word option.
Right.
People, people seem to be pulling the word replace and instead of out of their asses, it would seem. Like when literally, as you just stated, Boom, nobody from Microsoft has ever implied anything being put in place instead of the traditional console. Absolutely nobody. And I repeat, nothing is being replaced, and certainly not by the guys over at Xbox. So I'm going to ask you this question, Boom.
Yes.
How do you right now, live on the air, define the word option?
Quite frankly, the easiest way to describe it is choice. Right? I'm a console guy. I have been a console guy since 1978. Right? I've owned every console ever released since 78. And I'm not bullshitting. I mean, I'm being serious. Like, gaming has been my life, for my entire 48 years on this earth. And I've always bought a console. The Anaconda, I'm buying it. The Anaconda 2, 3, 4, and 7, I'm going to buy it. The PS5, 6, 7, and 14, I'm going to buy it. And the Switch times whatever, I'm going to buy it, regardless of whether or not I can play on my hand, play on my ass, play on the refrigerator, play on my air conditioner. It's not going to matter, because at the end of the day, see, folks, the one thing I have to, I want to bounce this right back to you. I have more evidence to prove exactly what I'm talking about. Why Microsoft isn't going away from traditional hardware. And this is, again, I get why everyone is concerned. If you're an old person, an older gamer like myself, you have concerns because you're used to a certain set way of doing things, and it actually shocks me that I'm the old man in the room, and there are people that are half my age, 20 years younger, that are up in arms over this digital era, and I'm the guy that's been doing physical media for the last 40 plus years. It's bananas, but it's okay. Here's more evidence to prove my fact. 4K 60 for the next generation is what the magic number, Welsh, I think, is going to be for just about every gamer. And regardless, it doesn't matter what flag you fly. If you're a Nintendo guy, you're going to want a console. Hopefully, they come out with a bigger, more beefier Switch. The PS5, you're gonna want 4K 60. The Xbox Anaconda, you're gonna want 4K 60. Well, here's the thing: as it stands today, as of today's show, streaming could barely get out 1080p, right? Okay. Now, if you're a gamer who has the 4K TV, the 75-inch TV with HDR all over the place, every bell and whistle, OLEDs out the yin yang, you're not going to settle for a crummy stream. If you can have hardware, that's why hardware isn't going anywhere. Now, again, streaming is not really for the hardcore. Hardcore are the guys like us, everyone in the chat here, the 130 plus people watching, that like their machines, that like that piece of hardware underneath their TV. We're going to be supporting that, and Microsoft is not going to forget about us. But if you want 4K 60, if you want HDR, light sourcing, tracing, all the bells and whistles that you could possibly imagine about, you're gonna have to run that off of hardware, dude. It's the same principle as the PC. PC guys, the maximum race, right? The PC master race.
Yeah,
they have all of this hardware because they want the best, and if you want the best, you have to play on hardware. Do I make sense, Welsh?
No, absolutely. I mean, it just boils down to the fact that nothing's replacing anything. It's just like, if you are a gamer that has grown up with consoles, and like myself and Boom, you prefer the console feel, you are a console gamer. You're not, like, even if they bring out 100 variations of the streaming box and this box and an app you can download straight to your Samsung TV, and all you need is a controller. I don't know what they're going to do. Who knows? But bottom line, if you're like me, and there are plenty of people in the same boat who prefer consoles, you're going to stick with console.
Yeah.
And like you said it best. The 4K 60, the whole power argument that we've had all this generation that people seem to forget when it suits them. You don't think that's just going to go away? And let's be fair, no matter how well Xbox and Microsoft do with the xCloud, like we saw with on Inside Xbox, that controller with the phone and the future of mobile gaming, no matter how successful they are with that, you are not going to get the same level of resolution and frames that you would get on a home hub console under your TV, which is why console gaming, and it saddens me that I have to even say it out loud, because like you said, Boom, people are seeing what we see. How is it not that as obvious that it's obvious to us, but like the console is not going anywhere because there's always going to be a market for it, because it'll be the closed box that gives you the best possible performance if you're a console gamer.
That is correct. Absolutely.
And no one's going to substitute that, Boom. Like you said, the people who will go out and buy this streaming box are either casuals or a parent with 8 kids that all enjoy games. It's like, fuck off, here's your little xCloud box, go to your room. Or or it'll be the traveling man, like the one who has a console at home, but instead of lugging the box and all of his discs around or whatever, it's just, I'll just take this little deck of cards with me in my suit pocket to China or wherever you're doing business, and I can play my games in my hotel room. Like, that's what it's going to be marketing for. The console, I repeat, is not going anywhere.
Yeah, I agree. I got to give a shout out to Beantown Bruins 191 in the chat. He says, "Boom, I worry about cross-platform with PC. That's what worries him." And you know, I you know what? That's a straightaway honest concern. You know, Gears 4 had the ability to play with PC, but there was a toggle switch. Obviously, it's something that should have been in Sea of Thieves immediately. I think that developers have to understand that even though they want the biggest, most largest player base, you have to give your consumers choice. I don't like playing with PC guys because I don't want to go up against mouse and keyboard on a shooter. Let's just say I still might be able to smoke them. Just because again, you have to have skill to use mouse and keyboard. It doesn't come natural. I've tried to use it and I'm like a banana head. So I don't like mouse and keyboard. I'm going to be honest with you. If Gears Tactics, and it should be coming to the Xbox One, and it's a big if, I hope not. Rod, if you're listening, my friend, we love you and we respect you. Respect us and release Gear Tactics on the Xbox One. From what I understand, it's coming. But take the time to give the options. Again, people, hashtag options 2019. Let us play with controllers if we want. If you can pull it off in Halo, both RTS Halo games, I think Gears Tactics could pull it off if given the correct development time. But here's more proof as to why I think, especially in the U.S., the U.S. is the dominant Xbox area. I mean, they do well in other countries. Mexico, big fan of the Xbox. Plenty of other countries, big fans of the Xbox. But the United States is one of their biggest sales, and they're actually not too far behind the PS4 in this country. Well, as it stands, and I did some research, Welsh, a couple of years ago, the U.S., sadly enough, was ranked 15th overall when it came to internet service. They've creeped up to as high as 10. I mean, listen, this is the United States. Shame on you, man. We don't have the infrastructure that some other countries have. So, that's why, even though with 5G, everyone's like, 5G around the corner. Yeah, 5G. Guess what? It took forever 4G to get its sea legs. 5G isn't just going to come out of the sky and work perfectly. It's going to be a lot of years, guys. And even at 5G, I don't necessarily know you can get all of the lighting effects, the ray tracing, the 4K 60 and HDR on a streaming box. I don't think it's possible. Is it eventually going to happen? Sure. Technology moves just like your age, and eventually it's going to be available. But we're talking 10, 15, 20, 25 years from now. We don't even know. the one thing I have to say to people, and like I said, I respect your opinion, folks. This is not me downplaying your concerns. I would never do that. If you're a concerned gamer about the future of how you game, you got to tweet at you got to tweet at Microsoft, you got to tweet at Sony, you got to tweet at Nintendo. Say this is what we want. Be respectful. Don't use all caps, and certainly don't use curse words. Do it in a proper manner. You might get an answer. Write an email. You know what I'm saying? Get in contact with a community manager. These are my concerns. But just enjoy gaming today. Stop looking 2, 3, 4, 10 years into the future. My God, we don't even know if we're going to be alive by then. Be happy one day at a time, folks. Life is extremely short. There are so many games. 2019 is a phenomenon with the amount of games that have come out. Enjoy what's in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the community that's here now. And when we get to wherever we're going to get to, and it's an issue, we will then voice our opinion and have the stage to do it. Right now, everything is just up in the air. We don't know. But I brought up this topic. It's an original written topic by me simply because I don't go back and forth. People, I give my opinion. I accept other people's opinion, and we shake hands and we kind of keep it moving. But there's been a lot of podcasts that I will not name that have been running for the hills that the sky is falling. And I think that it's embarrassing to them as professionals. And it's also it's shitting on your fan base that comes and listens to your show, because I think you should be talking about positive things, exciting things that get the community excited, not talking about that the world is going to end. I think that's boring. I think that's going to happen eventually. Let's talk about what we have now. Lots of games to play, lots of great people in the community to hang out with. Welsh, are you buying what I'm selling?
Mate, absolutely. And if it's okay with you, there's also another thing I wanted to touch on.
Please take it away. Topic. I've talked enough. I'm parched.
No, mate. Go get yourself a beer, Boom. I'll wait.
I drink Dr. Pepper, but okay, I see what you're saying.
Go get yourself a Dr. Pepper alcohol edition. No, basically, like with this topic as well, like you've got people who are quite torn. Like we're talking at the moment, we're talking about like streaming and all digital and all that kind of stuff, and like will there be a console in 10 years? It's like you said, calm down. But one of the things I do see tend to pop up is the whole all digital box versus the traditional disc box as well. Like, once again, I keep throwing the word option out there because I don't understand why people don't like options, but I've seen the odd thing crop up in the last like few weeks, Boom. You've probably seen it too, but like people saying that like, oh, if they ever make a discless Xbox or whatever, I'm not going to buy it. Or if Xbox making discless consoles is setting the wrong tone, but they're going to get rid of discs and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. CDs will then become irrelevant and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just scratching my head and I'm just thinking, like, with regards to the old digital box versus the traditional disc box, you know, that too will become I just want to be clear with the chat, that's all. Sorry about this, Boom. I know you didn't ask me this outright, but I just wanted to say that this is just another part of this topic that I wanted to be very clear on, especially with my stance. But with regards to the digital box versus the disc box, that too will still remain an option, the same way streaming is becoming an option, because one day, inevitably, CDs will be irrelevant, much like VHS and cassettes are irrelevant today. Mm-hmm. But discs one day becoming irrelevant, Boom, will happen regardless of whether Xbox makes an all-digital option console or not. That is just a fact, people. Everyone listening, that is just a fact. And I know for a fact as well, and I'm certain that Xbox as a team will continue to accommodate the disc-only fan base until the inevitable end of discs, when discs are no longer being made, which is probably a while off. Again, stop worrying about right here, right now, or what's happening. It's a while off yet. Discs aren't going anywhere probably anytime soon, but, you know, discs are going to fizzle out, and eventually Xbox will only make, and this goes for PlayStation and Nintendo, that it's a no-brainer, but eventually things are going to become all digital, all stream, and people need to accept that, because while Xbox is more than likely, like I said, going to accommodate a console for the people who want their discs, eventually that option straight up won't be available, because discs won't even fucking matter anymore. And it's just something I needed to throw out there, Boom, because I have seen this floating around on my Twitter feed a while, and I thought it'd be a nice. This topic has been excellent, but I thought this would be a great time to throw that little section in as well.
No, it was a great add-on, dude. I mean, look, I mean, that's the thing. Just enjoy gaming. Again, look, this is common sense what I'm talking about. The world is a negative place. Horrible things are happening on a regular basis, and it sucks, right? Gaming is a great escape for many of us who have tough jobs, tough lives, and it's real easy to snatch up a negative topic and just run with it. I think it's a lot harder to stay positive and just be happy-go-lucky, unicorns and rainbows all day long. That's what this show is about. That's what the Welsh Gamer is about. That's what I'm about. That's why you guys come here. We have almost 150 people watching live, which is just still bananas. It blows my mind that we actually had that many people. Look, I'm going to say this because if I don't say it, I get yelled at by Mooch privately. Hit the like button. If you're enjoying the show, if you're here enjoying the show, you're liking the talk, you're liking the friendliest chat on YouTube, you like the Welsh Game, you like me, hit the like button. If you think we suck and the show is not for you, I say, you know what? You're still welcome to hang out. Hit the down button. Hit the thumbs down. It's okay. It's fine. But you know what? Let's move on to the next topic. We actually have a few more. I don't know if we're going to get all of them in, but we're going to have to talk about the Halo Master Chief Collection confirmed for PC. Now, that's not the big story here. It's a big story, yes. But the Pinnacle Sun has returned. Halo Reach being added to the Master Chief Collection with all of the bells and whistles you would expect. 4K, 60 FPS. I don't necessarily know if they're going to have HDR. It wouldn't surprise me, but I'm looking forward to you and I talked about this so many times over that we need we need this added to the Master Chief Collection. Halo Reach is Bungie's swan song before doing Destiny. It is the cherry on top of the Master Chief Collection, in my opinion. But you know what, Drew? There are two really big talking points to discuss on this particular topic. First, Halo the Master Chief Collection confirmed for PC via Steam, and that's a big deal. And secondly, Halo Reach finally being added. Now, Drew, since Halo Master Chief Collection was announced for the PC yesterday, social media was buzzing. Not surprisingly, there were good and bad posts and comments on the subject matter. A good friend of the show, Jez Corden of Windows Central fame, had some interesting tweets that I kind of want to just read because I respect his work. He's a good writer. He's on the Xbox 2 program with Randall Thor 19. I'm also a big fan and a friend of him. This is the two tweets that I want to read that I thought really kind of just capped anyone's concerns. Already getting people crying about Halo not being platform exclusive like it matters. Free PC app to use your download. You use to download it. I can't bear the gatekeeping fanboys anymore. The argument literally makes no sense. And the second tweet was, I wish people who laughed at me for saying Halo is about to make a big comeback could see the traffic spike here at Windows Central right now. Holy shit. So, Welsh Gamer, okay, I have to go to you. I saw you leave me a message. Okay, great, excellent. Okay, great. We're gonna go into overtime because the Welsh Gamer just gave me the thumbs up that we can go past the 90 minutes, so we might be able to get all the topics in. So good. Thanks for that, Welsh. Really great.
No problem.
Here's the thing, Welsh. Before we get into the Halo Reach, where there is some controversy as well as some excitement, the Halo Master Chief Collection coming to PC is a big deal for a lot of reasons, and for, of course, the PC fan base. They have been asking for it. They have been clamoring for it for years. And it's finally happening. They're going to be releasing it in stagnant release format, starting with, of course, Halo Reach, the first game in the series, followed by Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 4, Halo 5, and I think ODST is going to be somewhere smack in the middle. They're releasing one game at a time to make sure that it releases with all the bells and whistles in a proper manner, and they can address any issues immediately for that one particular time. I think it's smart. I think it's really smart. But there is a significant amount of people in the community, especially some YouTubers, which that will remain nameless, that went on tirades, that went on tantrum mode about, the Xbox has no exclusives because they're on PC. And I have to agree with Jez Corden. I think it's a convoluted way of thinking. Microsoft is PC. PC is Microsoft. That's just the way it is. And, I want to throw this out there to you, and I want to get your opinion on this. The more people that support the Halo brand, and obviously it's going to be for Halo Reach, the more copies they sell of this game, the bigger the fan base. The bigger the fan base, the better chances we're going to keep this long in the tooth franchise running, and more people are going to play it. Am I crazy for saying that, Welsh?
Oh, did you say Bowen Welsh go on a rant? Oh, right, okay.
Please, by all means, we love your Welsh rants. Go crazy.
Welsh gamer rant, bitch. No, man, mate. Honest to God, I see no problem here. I see no argument here. It blows my mind that people can just muster up this much negativity and hate towards this. Honestly, man, the only people, I'm going in a rant mode now. I'm sorry, guys. Everyone in the chat is coming. But no, the only people complaining here are fanboys, Boom. I've said it before. I've said it before, but the only people complaining about this, about Master Chief Collection going to PC, via Steam as well, which is huge. Like, listen, that's good news, but we'll get to that. But the only people complaining are fanboys. I can point fingers at ponies until my fingers straight up fall off, Boom. But to sit here and say that there isn't Xbox fanboys would be completely and utterly bullshit. While ponies are sending death threats to voice actors, Xbox fanboys are currently showing their true intentions in this poxy console war by moaning and sobbing like little bitches because their precious exclusives aren't bound to the box under the TV mentality. It truly embarrasses me, Boom, genuinely. Honestly, it truly, truly embarrasses me to my core to be tethered with the same brush as these idiots. And I do not care if people hate me for saying this, because I do not want to be, I'm an Xbox fan, but do not tether me with those people, please. It's a new technological era and people need to embrace it. Just look at Netflix, right, Boom? Everyone in the chat as well. Just look at Netflix. It's not as if they make their own little box that you plug under your TV and that's your only source of Netflix. You can access the Netflix app on just about every device you can think of. And in turn, more people subscribe to Netflix. Netflix makes more money. And with that money, they can create more content for their subscriber base.
Yes.
That's exactly what's happening here, Boom, with 343 and no doubt most, if not every, Xbox first-party exclusive, or as I like to call at the moment, Xbox Originals. But with Halo Master Chief Collection, being that it's 343's baby, they are making Halo MCC available on more platforms. Specifically here, we're talking PC and Steam, which is going to be reaching out to millions of more gamers. And in turn, 343 and Xbox will make more money, which will go towards more Halo projects, maybe even new IPs, who knows? And it's just a no-brainer at this point, Boom. I've said it before, I feel like I'm going mad. Please tell me if I'm going mad, Boom. But it's just full circle. Like, the money coming around full circle. Like, I don't get any of that money, but that money is going to go towards games and studios and hardware and all these things that I love as an Xbox fan, and I will only benefit as an Xbox fan. And also, quoting Saltiest Gaming from your show the other night, News with Numas with Salty and Boom. Salty pointed out, I knew this already, but the fact that he said it, it did remind me. But Halo Combat Evolved was on PC.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Halo was originally a PC game, and a lot of PC gamers are fans of the series. And Halo can.
As a matter of fact,
thrive.
Combat Evolved had multiplayer that the Xbox One, the OG Xbox did not.
Exactly. Well, there you go. I actually didn't know that, but that's fantastic. I
Yeah,
mean,
they had multiplayer. That's
yeah.
correct.
Well, there you go. Oh, so I mean, we didn't actually saying that. Yeah, you're right, because we didn't actually. That was the excitement level when MCC was originally announced, because it was the first time Xbox gamers were going to get Halo Combat Evolved online since the PC. So you are
Correct.
correct. That just brought back a major brain fart. But no, it's incredible, mate. Honestly, like bottom line, this is not new information in the sense that like Halo has been in fact a PC game when it when it originally hit the shelves. Halo fans around the world who are PC gamers have been begging for Halo to come back, and this is nothing but good news. And this just sets up the excitement level ready for when, for us, people who had MCC for years, Halo Reach is coming, and then on top of that, more fans reaching out to the Halo franchise is going to like propel Infinite to huge heights when that comes out. I'm not going to say anymore. I don't want to keep tripping over myself and repeating myself. But literally, Boom, the only people complaining here are the fanboys that want to cling on to this ridiculous list war, console war, and it's really quite embarrassing. I'll just say that much to just end my point.
No, I mean, listen, it's you make a lot of sense. And listen, here's the thing. I'm very excited for the PC fan base. I am, because there are a lot of gamers who are PC only that hadn't had a chance to play the Halo Master Chief Collection, and you know what? This is good for them. This is also this is marketing 101. So Microsoft, if you're listening, hire MrBooMStickXL for the marketing department. This is a great opportunity to officially bring Xbox Game Pass to PC. Why? Well, if you have Xbox Game Pass for $10 a month, you get all your first-party games. And guess what? Halo Master Chief Collection is going to be in there. So I'm not sure if it's out yet. For some reason, I can't remember if it is. So if you're in the chat and if Xbox Game Pass already came to PC, please remind me, because I must have missed it. But that, again, it's a great selling point. And you said something about the excitement. Bringing back the excitement to Halo is a good thing, ladies and gentlemen. It's an important thing for the franchise. Okay, Halo 4, 343's first shot at it. Great story, great game, terrible multiplayer. Halo 5 comes out, gorgeous, 4K goodness all over the place. Terrible story, great multiplayer. Reach, they're going to have the slip space engine, right? New engine, new way to look at Master Chief, RPG elements, open world elements, still get your corridor shooters, lots of new stuff coming to the brand. And now it's not going to be locked down to just the one box supporting it. It's going to be open to the PC crowd to embrace Master Chief in the new adventure that's coming next year. This is a win-win for gamers. This is a win. Yep. This is a win for the Master Chief. This is a win for 343, and this is a win for Microsoft. The more games that they sell, the more money they make. The more money they make, the more games that they can make. I think it's business 101, Welsh.
Yeah, no, mate. Honestly, you are just speaking my language, Boom. It comes around full circle, and the only people that will benefit is obviously 343 and Xbox on a business front. But that aside, we as the gamer and as Halo fans, whether you're an Xbox console only gamer, which is absolutely fine, or these very, very fortunate individuals that have had their cries heard over on PC, who've been begging for Halo to come back home. Because bottom line, Halo was on PC. Yes. And it stopped going on PC. Probably Microsoft back in the early days when they were very cutthroat had a play in that, where they held Bungie by the ball sack and were like, no, you're not putting your game on PC, you're keeping it on our OG Xbox. I don't know. I'm just throwing theories out there last minute. But I have not a problem with this. And I've said this about just about any Xbox exclusive and with regards to this Play Anywhere initiative that Xbox has been pushing for ages. I could not care if Halo, Gears, Fable, Forza, I don't care if all those games were to go on different platforms, which they are probably going to, as we've discussed plenty of times. But I've never cared. As long as I can play them on my console of choice, I'm a happy gamer.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, if you choice is good, option is good, and don't get wrapped up in where you play your games. If you're a console guy, play it on your console, on your TV, sitting on your couch, and enjoy it. If someone wants to play on PC, let them be. Let them enjoy it on PC. If someone wants to play on a phone attached to that Xbox One controller, it's their prerogative. Just let them be. Enjoy what you enjoy. Don't push your views onto others. It's really simple. But you know what?
Can I ask you something though, Boom? I'm sorry. I need to ask you
but
something.
by all means, go ahead.
How does person A, who's playing on this Halo, how does person A get affected by person B playing Halo on his PC? Like, explain that to me. Like how? And person A, for the record, guys, is the people who are crying foul at this announcement. How is person A being? How are they even being affected that person B is playing that game on the PC? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to me, Boom. Like, how are people getting this butthurt over something that isn't even affecting them at all? Like, what's going on here, Boom? Like, what? How is it even affecting these people that are crying? Oh no, we don't want our games to go on other platforms. Honestly, Boom, please help me out here.
I mean, the easy answer is it's not. It's not affecting A to B to C to D to all the way to Z. It's the only issue that may come up is mouse and keyboard versus controller, and obviously that's been spoken to about to death. I'm in the camp where there's an option. It's got to be an option. Do I care if I play with PC people? Well, not really, to be honest with you, but some people really do. Some people just want to go against controllers. Some people only want to play on their own. Some people live in a closed walled garden and they just want to play against Xbox people. And you know what? I hear you. And I agree with you. I think there should be a toggle switch like there was in Gears 4, but A doesn't bother B and C doesn't bother G and G doesn't bother Q. I don't think it's really it's really relevant. It's only a list war shenanigans.
Exactly. That's bravo, Boom, bravo. That you just said it. That's what I mean. The only people complaining are the fanboys that are stuck in yesterday. That's literally it.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, we're going to talk about the Halo Reach because that's good. I'm excited for that. But Elemental P in the chat with the outstanding $5 super chat. Thank you so much for that. He says, "What kind of rig do you think would be needed to play 4K 60 HDR on PC?" Listen, here's the thing, dude. I would be a liar right on the air if I knew what to tell you. I'm not a PC guy. I'm running this show off a Surface Pro 4. And I didn't have a rig, but I had at one time an Alienware gaming laptop. It was the top of the line a couple of years ago. I never used it. I gave it to my brother Neo Mental. He uses it. He actually played. What did he play on it? I think he played the Division 2 beta on it, and he played and Anthem. He said it actually looked pretty good. It's just, I don't know. I'm not a PC guy. You know what I would say, Elemental P, because you're always on the show when Mooch. Hit Mooch up in a DM. His PC is supposed to be a monster rig that he built. Shamefully enough, he doesn't use it because he's a console guy that tried to get into the PC thing. I think he might have wasted his money. But options, again, options are good, people. So yeah, I'd reach out to Mooch and get his specs. From what I understand, he owns a monster rig. And he'd be able to help you better. I'd be lying if I said I knew what to even tell you. But you know what, Welsh? Let's talk about the most impressive announcement of Inside Xbox when 343 confirmed that Halo Reach, again the prodigal son of the Halo universe, is being added to the Master Chief collection as well. Reach being added, like I said earlier, is to me the cherry on top. They talked about Firefight. They talked about multiplayer. They talked about the campaign. They talked about Xbox Game Pass subscribers getting it in there when it's released. But you know what? The one thing that frustrates me as an Xbox guy is that every time Microsoft takes two steps forward, somehow, some way, the marketing, the way things are described and announced, the way that they tell the fans about things gets construed, and there's a lot of confusion surrounding this. Apparently, the multiplayer is going to be free, but you're going to have to buy the single player. Now, The one thing that they stress, well, if you got Game Pass, it's in there. But here's where I got a bit of a problem with this. And again, this is, I don't like being negative, folks, but when there's bad, you got to address it, and you got to let Microsoft know that we're not happy with this. And I'm going to do that in a tweet. I did it yesterday. I'm going to do it again after the show. If you own the Master Chief Collection, whether it's on Game Pass, whether you bought it day one, however you bought it, if you own that Microsoft Master Chief Collection game, Halo Reach going into there should be an update. Now, again, if I'm wrong, I'll publicly admit it. But the way it was explained is that the firefight and the single player campaign, which is, of course, the main meal of Halo Reach, is going to cost money. Now, I don't understand what they're talking about. If you're new, if you're just buying the Master Chief Collection, of course, you're going to buy the Master Chief Collection, and that should be included because it's being added. But if you are, again, this is where the confusion comes into, and this is Microsoft's mismanagement of the marketing department, Welsh. This is what you and I talk about. We talk about Aaron Greenberg, great human being, great dude, public figure. We know he loves shoes, great. Helped me out when I had a problem. Awesome guy, stepped in big time. But he's the guy that he's the head of marketing, right? That's what it says. That's what his title is. So again, who do we complain to? Who's responsible for the mismarketing, the misinformation, the confusion that comes out with these Xbox announcements? And I'm still right now I did the research as 10 minutes before the show started, still could not figure out what they're charging and who they're charging. Do you understand where I'm coming from this, Welsh?
Well, I gotta be honest, Boom. I literally, I don't know. I must have completely fucking missed that because I had no idea that they were charging Reach. I didn't even know they were charging you for any of it. I kind of just assumed it was going to be a free update or a free patch. That's
yeah, Shishno Elite says, I wonder if people already own the Master Chief Collection will get it for free like ODST. You see, that's a great question, and it's also a question that a showrunner like Welsh Gamer and me have no answer for, and I feel embarrassed about it because I looked and couldn't figure it out.
That's probably where my confusions come from, to be honest, because I remember when they dropped ODST and some people had to pay for it and I didn't. And obviously I didn't have to pay for it because I was a day one buyer.
They gave that to the people as a we're sorry we effed up. That's what that was about.
Yeah, like sorry we effed up on day one. Here's ODST for free. But I don't know. Maybe the same apology will be dragged out for Reach. Who knows? But no, no, it's a funny one. I truly think if they want to get people interested, they should, bite the bullet and update it for free. I mean,
all updates should be for free. I'm sorry. If you're adding a game or a mode and you already own that game, that said game, if it's an update, if you're adding a title, if you're adding something to a title you've already purchased, as a consumer, that's an update. Those updates should not be charged.
But I tell you what, though, like Aaron Summers in the chat just said the multiplayer is going to be free, but the campaign you'll have to pay for. That's not too bad, in my opinion. I mean, I agree that it should be free, like generally. Like here you go, here's Halo Reach, the only installment that isn't in the MCC. Get your hands on it, boom, bada, boom, bada, boom, boom, boom. But the beauty is, if what Aaron Summers is saying is correct, then you'll be getting the multiplayer. Including Invasion, which is one of the better Halo multiplayer modes of all time. And if you want to play the campaign, if you're desperate to jump back into the campaign, backwards compatible, throwback to the first topic, is Halo Reach currently, with the campaign intact. So at least I know you'd have to jump back and forth, but at least you'd still be able to access the campaign. It just probably wouldn't have the 4K plus updates and stuff. But I do prefer the fact that the multiplayer's going to be free though. But I really wish that they just drop it all at once.
I mean, again, it did. The real issue here is that it's another reason why it's own Game Pass, because it's going into Game Pass, and I'm assuming you don't have to buy it if you own Game Pass. If you pay monthly for Game Pass, I'm paid up to almost 2020 or into 2020. You're good. But if you're someone who's not in Game Pass and you want to play this game, you're going to have to buy it. Again, if you already own the Master Chief Collection, I find it to be ridiculous. Again, as we have to, as great as positive as this show wants to be, I would be a fraud if I didn't talk about the silly parts, the confusing, mismanagement, mismarketed parts of Xbox. And this is to me is another blunder, Welsh. I'm sorry. The game.
I'll be honest, I'm quite torn. I don't know what to think. There's a part of me that thinks that it should be a day one thing, like especially if you're a day one adopter of Halo Master Chief Collection. A part of me saying, yeah, for the day one buyers who've supported it since day one, they deserve Halo Reach to be put in there in its entirety for free. But then another part of me is thinking, you know, if they want to get a cheeky buck out of it, like maybe the late adopters, people who've just bought MCC. But then Salty said something a moment ago, and it is true. But he said it's called the Master Chief Collection for a reason.
He's right.
I mean, I'm not saying I wholeheartedly agree or disagree with what he's saying, but when you put it into perspective, the Master Chief Collection, in what you buy is the Master Chief Saga. So I suppose that could be their argument. Like, yeah, what you bought was the Master Chief Collection, but if you want ODST and you want Reach, you'll have to pay extra. It wasn't until I read it in that form, but like, that's where I'm torn, Boom. I really don't know. But what I will say is I agree that the marketing should really step up and make it very fucking clear on what's going on. Or at least, like, it must not have been clear enough because it completely went over my head.
Yeah, I mean, look, well, Aaron Summers says campaign and firefight are considered premium DLC. I mean, I understand. I'm not. I have Game Pass. I'm playing it. I'm just concerned for the mismarketing that goes on. You know, again, they take a couple of steps forward and it's cheer, and then they do something dumb and they take 4 steps backwards and they lose a step. And I don't want to see that. I want to see them win. And I said this before. I never want to see anyone lose a job. Okay, I don't know who's responsible, who's really running the marketing department for Microsoft. All I can say is this: whoever is running it, whoever has been in charge, whoever's been signing the checks and making the decisions from 2013 moving forward, they just didn't do a good enough job. And I think it's time to make a change. Move them to somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. Don't fire them outright. No, again, I'm a big proponent. I don't want anyone to lose their job, but at the same time, maybe a reboot of some sorts. You know, put maybe a younger man in there or woman in there who is as fierce with ideas like the Welsh and I are. You know, again, Welsh and I will take the job. Hire us. We will make Xbox great again. The two of us. But
we will make it great again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Anyway, listen, you know what? Look, here's the thing. We talked a little negativity. We're going to talk some positivity, some facts, something that you and I are very passionate about. And that is marketing within the Xbox brand. And one of the biggest hiccups is the fact that Microsoft does not advertise on did not advertise on TV early on in the generation like they should have, like Sony is doing now. Well, I got news for you. In this big ship that Phil Spencer is turning, with the new consoles being the biggest, the most powerful hardware, right? We know that. We know that the Anaconda is going to be the big guy. And we know that the lower priced one is, even though it's going to be cheaper, going to be just slightly more powerful than the X. That in itself is something special, right? We know what they did with the first party, 20 in 2020, hashtag 20 in 2020. We know that they're buying studios left and right. We know their first party studios, they doubled them in 2018. They have more announcements coming. We know that they're going to be making killer games. They have a new quadruple A studio. The services are kick-ass. Game Pass is knocking it out of the park, right? Controllers for days. So a lot of great stuff to talk about. Well, according to a story that I was able to pull, Xbox outs PlayStation to dominate game industry TV spending in February. And this is, I think, a sign that Microsoft is, in fact, changing their ways going into the next generation, Welsh. And again, being huge Xbox fans, both Drew and I have on this very show discussed at great length how disappointed we have been with the marketing in this generation. And I think Microsoft has heard the complaints, and I think they're addressing the concerns of the fan base. And thanks to an article that I pulled from VentureBeat.com, this is what they had to say in the subject. Thanks to a big outlay during the Super Bowl, Microsoft's Xbox has overtaken the gaming industry's longtime spending leader, PlayStation. Xbox accounted for, get this, folks, 53.6% in gaming industry TV monies being spent, whereas the PlayStation only spent 5.4%, Welsh. That is a big deal. Now, what are your takeaways from the fact that, we complained about it? They obviously lost this generation because of it. Do you think that this is a lopsided blowout? Microsoft 53, almost 54% to Sony's only almost 6%. Do you think that we're starting to see that there's going to be a big change coming in the next generation, Welsh?
Well, talk about going from one extreme to the other. Like, I mean, it's nothing but good. I couldn't believe it. When you forwarded me that article, Boom, I couldn't believe the money being thrown around. Like just to put it into with like, the Super Bowl ad and stuff like that. But like the percentage, the fact that in February they outspent everyone, over 50% was of the TV spend went to Microsoft and team and Xbox. Like it's looking promising, Boom. Like me and you have been saying for a long time that Xbox is like, doing a lot of things right, but one of their biggest shortcomings this generation has been their marketing. And I've been saying, like, get their ads on TV, just push it here, push it there. Like, I'll say it again, I'll say it again, I'll say it again. Look at just look at PlayStation. Like, they have just dominated because of their just constant push with marketing, and it's just nice to see Xbox dipping their toe in that pool. I'm really impressed with those stats.
Well, I mean, it's look, if the documented evidence from VentureBeat isn't enough to as an Xbox fan to get excited that the change is coming, right? Consider what they did in 2018 post E3, right? They doubled their first party. We talked about it. They talked about the digital future, talked about power. But then you move on to 2019, and something happened that many Xbox shows either don't want to be bothered talking about, didn't bother doing the research, or could give a flying shit. Well, I care. I think it's a big deal, and that's why you guys come to this show, because you're going to get facts here. You're going to get information that all the other guys don't take the time to look into. 2019, in my opinion, for marketing deals in the early months of this year, Microsoft has it in spades. Let's just take a look at who they marketed with, who they have marketing deals, all the big games. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Devil May Cry 5, Anthem, The Division 2, and Metro Exodus is just to name the big ones. And that is a huge improvement, Drew. Microsoft, if you couple that with the TV spending in February, man, I think that Microsoft is really going out of their way to dominate the next generation, and they're starting now, which is smart. Listen, I take nothing away what Sony has done in 2018. We all know that their first party games are great, but they, towards the end of the year, in this marathon, they ran out of steam, right? They ran out of games to put out there. They ran out of games to talk about. They skipped all these shows. They skipped Gamescom, Paris Games Week, PSX. They're skipping E3 2019. So I don't want to sound nasty, but they shot their load early, and now they're just sitting there with a limp cock. Where Microsoft is just going strong, and they're the porno kings.
Limp cock.
So I mean, this is a big deal, and I'm sorry I had to kind of turn it. I know I shocked a lot of people in the chat because I don't talk like that usually, but it's the best. It's the best description of where Microsoft is going. They seem like they have the stamina for weeks on end. I mean, if you're done laughing, please take it away, Welch.
Oh man, it's just good news all round, isn't it? Like they're truly got like it just sets up such a good precedent for the next generation. Like this level of determination. I know it was just in February, and there's a bit of me that's like, oh, I really hope it's not just a one-off, and it wasn't just.
I agree. I agree.
But I do truly think, Boom, that like me and you've been saying it long enough. We can't be the only ones. It's pretty much the most common fault that anyone would muster. Like if you asked Bob down the road, who's even just a mediocre gamer, like, oh, if you had to name one thing that Xbox has done shit this gen, what would it be? Oh, the fact that there's no ads anywhere. Bloody hell, dog shit. I don't need, you know, you can just imagine it. Like anyone would say it. But the fact they've put their best foot forward here, it's showing a lot of promise for me. Like for me, the whole situation with this venture beat statistics, the money thrown away, it just shows to me personally, Boom, that Xbox have fully recognized their weakness. And it does seem that they are turning a new leaf when it comes to their poor marketing. If this is what they can do, Boom, with 1 month, with the Super Bowl ad as well, like with the with the what was it? The we all win, or it was something like that.
Yes, with the adaptive controller commercials. Yes.
If this is what they can do with just that one ad, with that one event in that 1 month, just imagine if they spread it out in like just a consistent, smooth. Every month you're getting flooded with third-party game ads as well as your first party. You know, like we've said before, like with the one game every quarter that they're aiming to do eventually. Like, you know, every month, every month, each quarter, just building up to that game that's coming out in that quarter. Just constant droves of ads and marketing, and hopefully some custom consoles thrown in the mix. It's just amazing. And frankly, Boom, I got to say, I could not believe the money being thrown around.
They did a lot of spending. I mean, look,
amazing.
Who was it? Lansville Paul in the chat. He says something to the effect that Sony is not sitting with nothing going on in the background. Yes, absolutely, dude. Look, I've said it before. If you've been a fan of me and Welsh, and you've listened to me on numerous podcasts, I have applauded. I have stood up here on this show and applauded Sony's marketing. They're the marketing kings. End of story. When you can put Spider-Man in Times Square, when you can put God of War on a basketball court, when you can put PlayStation commercials after every show that I do 4 times during a podcast, when you can put it on buses, trains, and airplanes, and in the movie theater, you're doing something right. There's no one's taking anything away from Sony, okay? But you also got to remember this is a what have you done for me now? Lately world, and Sony unfortunately they don't have anything to show. There's only been rumors. The head of Sony, who I really respect, that dude has been out doing all these interviews to keep Sony in the gamers' minds, right? He's doing all these interviews. Sean Layden, I really like the guy. I think he's perfect for him. He is, I don't know if he's a gamer per se, but I think he's exactly what Sony needs, and he's the reason why I really enjoy the brand, because he's out there and he says he's for the players. Sometimes they do things that are not so much for the players, but I like how open he's been in his last couple of interviews. But again, we're not taking away from Sony, but this is an Xbox show, and we're going to talk about Xbox things. Tune in to Breakfast with Boom, where I talk about Sony all the time, and you'll understand where I'm coming from. But in regards to what Microsoft is doing, you got to understand, we've been starving for them to do what they're doing in 2019 as Xbox fans. The marketing deals are a big deal, right? We talked about it with all these marketing deals. It's a missed opportunity to have special edition controllers, right? We talked about that. This would be a great time to have that. But the amount of money that has been thrown around in 2019 is just it's unprecedented, no doubt about it. But Welsh, if you have nothing else to add, we were able to get to every topic, and we're almost at 2 hours of the Xbox Factor podcast, and it's been fantastic.
Mate, what a show. All I can add is just in response to what you're saying to that dude, like me and Boom, considering this is the Xbox Factor, we have played homage. We have
Yeah, homage. Yes,
we
yes.
have commended PlayStation. I know I have. I certainly know Boom has. We have commended PlayStation immensely for what they've done this generation. And frankly, all I see here with these numbers, this money being thrown around, these statistics, what Xbox is doing leading up to a new generation, and they're putting their best foot forward with their marketing finally.
Yes.
Whereas Sony's been dominating in that area all generation. And I said this a few shows before. I'm confident of this, Boom. The only reason we're seeing this new attitude from Xbox, and I hope it sticks as well, is because of Sony and how they've
Yes, absolutely, for sure, for sure.
literally they've led by example this generation. Don't ever like assume that like we don't point that out. We point out the bullshit in all walks, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. We don't care. We just call it as it is. But in this instance, we're bigging up Xbox for this right now, but don't think we aren't stupid. Don't think we're stupid. Don't think that we haven't noticed that this is probably Xbox thinking, oh man, see what can happen if you put some effort into your marketing like Sony. Like that's my point, and I hope it keeps happening because it's the one area they were weak at, and this just shows a lot of promise for me. And it is thanks to Sony. I'm never taking that away from Sony and PlayStation. Say what you want about Sony and their shortcomings, and if they've done this, done that, but where they have definitely, in my opinion, just blown Xbox out the water, and Xbox has definitely been taking notes, and that's the marketing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, listen, this has been a dynamite show. First of all, I want to thank the chat. You guys were awesome as usual, friendly, inviting, welcoming, loving. This is the kind of atmosphere I love for the show. Again, unicorns and rainbows all day long for Boom. I'm glad that the chat seems to think the same way. It is all about gaming and hashtag fun at the end of the day, regardless of what console you like more than the other or what flag you fly. Thanks again to the outstanding amount of generosity with the super chats. Again, it's really humbling that you guys want to donate to the show. It's greatly appreciated. Welsh Gamer, you have exploded on the scene in 2019 as you promised, with more and more videos to your channel. Is there any chance that sometime down the line we're going to see a major return of the Dragon X podcast? And before you answer that question, please tell everyone where they can follow you on Twitter and actually sub your outstanding YouTube channel.
Right, I have some good news and some bad news, but don't worry, the bad news isn't going to put a down on this all-round amazing show we've had. But the good news is you can find me, the Welsh Gamer, on YouTube, or at the Welsh Gamer 93 via Twitter. And, I can assure you, I know I've been saying for the last, videos are coming, but believe me, videos are coming. Plenty more where that came from. And some good news, that as I just promised, I'm hoping, Boom, and I want to talk to you behind the scenes, but I'm hoping to maybe put together a new project, if you will.
Sounds interesting.
I know. Nothing too concrete yet. I'm just putting the feelers out. But if it does come to fruition, you'll be hearing from me very shortly on Twitter and other forms of social media. But the bad news is, for anyone and everyone who I've had, and believe me, Boom, I've had a laundry list of requests on bringing back the Dragon X podcast. And believe me, I would love to, but unfortunately, the Dragon X podcast is finished.
Okay.
So it's all good. It's almost like a universal agreement, but Micro and E-Rock are going all in with the Micropod, and I'm going to promote that shit every opportunity I can, because I absolutely respect the shit out of those guys, and they do an awesome show. And I completely respect the fact that they've gone to do other things, because I was absent for a very long time, pulled away from YouTube, and I kind of just left those guys hanging, not knowing what was happening. And so I completely, it's my fault, and I completely respect them for moving it along. So just being completely open and honest, the Dragon X is over, but hopefully it's not the last you'll see of me in terms of hosting, which is what I'm going to talk about with Boom. So hit up my channel, guys. More content coming. Hopefully some new projects up the line. But I'm loving this at the minute, Boom. Xbox Factor is where it's at the minute, bro. I am loving it.
Excellent. Well, listen. Again, if you are, thanks for the Welsh Gamer for partnering up to do this project with me. I have a super secret project that I've been working on with the lordsofgaming.net. And I'm going to be posting something in the next few days once I get the actual thumbs up and confirmation. And if you're interested and you want to hear more Boom, tune in tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Breakfast with Boom. I will be doing an announcement for the guest list that finally was finalized. It's an amazing panel, lots of great, interesting stuff to talk about. Division 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Battlefield 5 we're going to be discussing, and some new breaking news that happened today. We're going to be talking about all of that tomorrow morning for a solid 2 hours. So tune in, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Xbox Factor Podcast. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and we'll see you next Thursday at the new scheduled time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everyone.